So, welcome everyone to this talk about DevSecOps and security education. It has been my passion for a long time, and I've been working the last 5 years specifically on the education part. So I'm very excited to tell you more about it and to tell you some of my experiences that I had with it. So a little bit about myself. My name is Dominik de Smit. I'm a software security consultant. I have been almost 20 years in IT security. I started at a very young age. My background is in software engineering, management, and cybersecurity. I have advised large enterprise organizations in the Netherlands on software security and security awareness. And I founded 2 startups, one called Arido, where we do security consultancy, and the other one, Everball, where we basically focus on security education. I'm also the founder of the DevSecOps Netherlands meetup group. I find it very nice to bring people together, and that's why I started one. There wasn't one yet. We were very active before Corona, but then Corona happened, and then we were a little bit less active, but we are trying to come back again and try to spread, security knowledge and also learn from other people that are dealing with similar security challenges. And I love good food, but yeah, who doesn't love good food? So this is a DevOps conference, but I quickly want to recap. So if you look at where we started, we had waterfall methodologies. We had enough time for planning, designing, coding, and we especially had enough time to do some security testing at the end. And then if we found certain things that were not right, we could go back and fix it. So, but that took a whole lot of time, and it was a little bit too slow. And after we went to the market and we went live with our product, then our customer maybe didn't like what we built, or maybe had something else in mind. So we started thinking about, okay, we should do it more, or we should do it in a different way. So we came up with Agile. We took our customers' feedback quicker into consideration. We shortened our development loops. But still, we found out that this wasn't enough. So we came up with DevOps. We wanted to have better collaboration between different departments, and we wanted to deploy daily, or we wanted to deploy multiple times a day our software to production. And if we look at DevOps, security is a very important factor in that. But what I've seen in practice is that it unfortunately didn't always get the right attention, or enough attention. So we came up with the term DevSecOps, to just give it a little bit more emphasis and to spread a little bit more awareness about the security aspect in DevOps. We want to integrate all of these security aspects in every step of the software development lifecycle. In that way, we can lower the risks of any security incidents, and we are getting more insights into our security posture from our applications. So, who can tell me what the 3 main ingredients are for DevSecOps? No one? Yeah, DevSecOps. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, but I'm talking a little bit more high level. So we have people, right? We need to make sure that we have the right culture in our organization. We need to make sure that we have a culture of feedback. Making sure that it's clear why security is important, and creating education and awareness programs. It all starts with the people inside of our organization. The second one is processes. So when we have the awareness in place, when it's clear why it is important, then we need to figure out, okay, what is the most effective way to handling these security issues that might come up in our software development. So what is the most effective and efficient way that we can solve anything that comes out in the meantime. And of course, we need good technology in order to support those processes. So we need the right tools that help us identify security vulnerabilities. We need the right tools that tell us, okay, what could be a possible mitigation to these security issues. So these three together are very important for a successful DevSecOps implementation. And if we look at the technology part, then we can find a lot of information online on what kind of tools, what kind of topics. So there's a lot to find online, what kind of tool to install or what to use in which part. But everyone can install a tool. What about actually effectively using these tools? Or making the most out of the tools that you are using? Or making sure that the developers understand how it can be used inside of their processes? And what about combining these three together? So we have a good tool, but what about the process and what about the people? So the knowledge to do that is something that I found is really the hard part of it, combining these three together. So how do we get that knowledge? What about the knowledge indeed to do that? How can we make sure that companies or people get the right knowledge to be able to do an effective implementation of a tool, or to be able to set up the right process, or to be able to tell people why it is important that we do these certain aspects. One aspect that I find really interesting is we find it all very normal that whenever someone wants to drive a car, they need a driver's license. I mean, some people might be able to drive a car without a license, but still, it is not optional for people to get a driver's license. If it were optional, then I don't know how many people would get a driver's license. And with a driver's license, we have a theory aspect. We have a theory exam that we need to complete, and we have a practical aspect. It's not that only by doing the theory we can get a driver's license. We need to show in practice that we are able to handle this car. But how can it be then that if we are working on very important software or very important applications, that there is no basic security driver's license? It's not there. We have certain certifications, we have certain trainings and programs that we can follow, but there is no concept of this driver's license, this basic security driver's license. And this is what kept me puzzled a long time, because I would expect that if certain applications are being developed where millions of people use it daily, or even very critical information passes through it, that all of the people playing a role in that should also have the basic security knowledge, to make sure that they capture all important security aspects of it. And if we look at some of the predictions that are being made currently, for example, Gartner says by 2025 that a lack of talent, and in this case talent, we can see as skills, or professionals will lead to more than 50% of significant cybersecurity incidents. Also, if we look at the shortage of cybersecurity professionals, you can find different numbers online. But one of the numbers I found was 3.4 million empty positions. So this is quite a problem. So we have three major challenges. We have an enormous skill shortage. We don't have a mandatory basic security driver's license. So how do we sustain or improve this knowledge inside of an organization? Yeah, because there will be only a small group of people inside of an organization that might possess this knowledge. And what if they leave? Yeah? Or how do we even improve the knowledge inside of an organization? Yeah? And this enormous skill shortage will not go away overnight. Yeah? It requires a combination of different factors, yeah? And even putting more attention at the beginning, yeah, where it all started, for example, education. Yeah? It's very important. I've seen companies, really trying to figure out how to handle this issue. Yeah? So they purchase different e-learning platforms. Yeah? You might know some of these on screen. But what I see is that many of these e-learning platforms are being purchased, but then not being used or not being used effectively. Yeah? It's optional. We have this platform for you available, go ahead and use it. If you tell that to somebody in our industry, we are usually very, very busy during the day. So other priorities will probably prevail than going to this education or e-learning platform. Yeah. It's the main factor that I see why it's not being used effectively is because there is no strategy usually or plan behind it, yeah, on how to use these platforms effectively. Yeah. And also the mapping on, okay, what content should be available for different audiences is sometimes missing. Yeah. So I have found several key factors to be important if you think about an education program or a strategy. Yeah. The first one is hands-on. Yeah. I've seen a lot of e-learning platforms that have theory and slides, but rather have limited practical exercises, yeah, for people to actually do the work and practice the work. Yeah. Also self-paced. Yeah, people learn in different ways. Some people might need longer, some people might use different methods in learning. Yeah. Specific. This is also one element that I see that sometimes is missing. People get very general content, yeah, of training and then are supposed to apply it to their daily work. But if it's not specific and people cannot use it directly, then it will become very difficult. Yeah? Because if people can directly apply it into their daily work, then they will directly also see the benefit from it. Yeah? So the content needs to be specific. Continuous. I also see a lot of companies saying, okay, we do a training one time a year and then we are done. We have checked the box. But that's not how it works, because IT is also evolving continuously. So that means that our education should also evolve continuously with it. Yeah? It cannot be a one-time thing. It needs to be fun. Yeah? People like fun training. Yeah? So if you add types of gamification elements into it, yeah, then people would maybe be inclined to come back more often, but also look maybe into other topics, yeah, rather than the ones that they are working for. Yeah. And bite-sized is very important because, like I said, people are very busy. They don't have anymore the time to just go 2 weeks on a training program and then, are supposed to just drop all of their work and do 2 weeks of training. Yeah, it needs to be small. It needs to be able to fit into their daily work. Yeah. Mandatory. So this is a factor that is very difficult, but can be done in multiple ways, but is a very important one. I've seen many optional strategies that didn't work out in the long run. Yeah? And it's also very important that companies give company time to do this in. Yeah? You cannot expect people to do a full day of work and then at the end also, use their free time. Yeah? They have other responsibilities as well. Yeah? So show as a company that you find this important, yeah? And give people the opportunity to learn under company time. Yeah? And that's why bite-sized is again important. Up-to-date knowledge. So if technology is evolving at such a rapid pace, it doesn't mean that you need content that's maximum 1 month old. Yeah, but content of 3 years ago might not be relevant anymore today. So make sure that the content that is provided is up to date. In that way, it is also more easier to apply it directly in the daily work of people, of people's jobs. So these are some of the key factors that I found during my experience with different companies. Again, it's very specific on the company and your organization on how you can implement this. So I cannot give, okay, this is how you should do it, because it really depends on different factors. But these were some of the aspects that I found, if you include them, you have a much higher percentage or a much higher rate of successfully implementing it. And then we have this guy, the security champion. So who of the audiences here does have a security champions program or security champions set up in their organization? Okay, so not a few, not that many. Security champions are an excellent way of making sure that this education program is actually successful and in a scalable way presented throughout your organization. I see many times that education programs like these and also security education programs are either pushed from an HR department or from a learning department. And it's very nice, of course, that it starts there, but they are simply too far away from the development teams, from the engineers. They don't know what kind of problems or things are happening on the ground. So you need to be close to the development teams in order to understand, okay, what are their needs, what kind of extra skills are needed, and what kind of practical hands-on learning can we provide for them. And it's also very important that the feedback is incorporated inside of this education program. So the security champions can help passing on the feedback that is given by engineers and by all the people in the DevOps teams to make sure that maybe the content is adapted or done in a different way. It's very, I think in bigger organizations, a very good scalable solution to start with. OWASP has recently started working on a security champions guide. It is not ready yet. They are working on it. I know some great people that are busy with it. So if you want to start with a security champions guide, this is a very good resource to look at. They give some practical tips on how to start with it, what is important. I will not go through each of these elements, but if you want to start with a security champions program, definitely have a look at this manifesto from OWASP. So if we have these security champions, and we have these key elements into making sure that the security education program can be as successful as it is, how do we make sure that it integrates with our existing DevOps processes? So there are different ways of doing this, and it really depends also, again, on your organization, on how you have implemented certain DevOps processes. But I've seen many companies that want to go to DevOps are also a little bit scared. They are scared to giving this full team autonomy to teams, by even them being able to update things in production. But what if you can say, okay, if you do these kind of education modules or you follow this program, then we are well aware that you have the right skills. We are confident that you're able to get these extra rights, and that you can do these things in production. So you can combine security education with, for example, giving more rights to teams. This could be one option. And if we then talk about mandatory, then this is also a way of doing this. You can say, okay, well, you want full team autonomy, you want full access rights to production, then show us in practice that you can also do it. If you have the security education program, then you're also able to give people more responsibilities, because they are learning different aspects of security implementation inside of DevOps. And you can say, well, if you finish these and these modules, you have a good start, and you can, maybe even be responsible for some of the security aspects, inside of our DevOps transformation. And of course, one option could be compensation. Show as a company that you value people that are continuously trying to upskill themselves and learning the right skills for the job, by showing appreciation. This can be done in multiple ways. So this can be some of the aspects where I see that, okay, if you integrate it within an existing process within your company, you also have a higher chance or a higher rate of making it successful. So this was my presentation. I hope it gave some key elements. Again, I could not give you a direct, okay, this is how you do it, because that's impossible. But I hope that some of the key factors that I mentioned can help get started. And thank you for attending this session, and keep on learning. And I have some time now for questions, if there might be any.